scorching dream. The licking flames distort the air in people's dreams. Guys, I see people ahead. There's an army. That way, 7 o'clock? Oh, no worries. We got the message. But, are you sure that's what you saw? There's not a hint of human life anywhere in these parts. Why would the army be patrolling out here? Hand me the binoculars. There's very little terrain nearby that would conceal us. Everyone, please hide here for a moment. I'll go with you. I'd know the Victorian army more thorough than you. Nah? Thank you. Someone, take a look. If I crouch under this rock, the enemy won't see me from any angle. Will they? Not half bad. Good then. God, we go through the waste for 4 days without a peep. No catastrophe or savage beasts. And then we hit a roadblock at the very end. Just our luck, you figure. Now stop sticking your head out. Keep low with the rest of us. It's been so long. You still don't trust Reed's lot? No. As a matter of fact, it's the bland type like her I least trust. She only wants to do stuff that doesn't offend nobody. That way, if she ever makes a mistake, it won't really be her fault. You just don't like her stopping us from going to Dublin. Maybe. But I don't say nothing to you neither, do I? Confirmed. It's a small-scale Victorian deployment, but judging by their equipment, not from a nearby barracks. Their weapons are highest caliber. If we fought, there's little chance we'd win. They might not be searching for us, but just in case, we better hide ourselves. Based on their current advance, they won't catch sight of us. You don't give me lip for what I say because nobody listens to what I say. Anyhow, I'm jealous of how she's taken over my show. Those troops are coming closer. Budge over. Give me a good position to watch them. I'm begging you. Don't cause trouble now. What's happening? Are they scuffling? Some group ambushed them at a pass. So, if we'd not stopped to hide just now, we would have been sprung too? Who's waiting there? Hey, I can't make out too clearly, but those clothes they're wearing look a bit like Salmon's, right? It's gotta be Dublin, right? Dublin. One dawn 8 months ago, just after I'd finished work. I was eating breakfast in a cafe in County Peninsula. A voice came from my radio. It said, with their flames they would cleanse Victoria of filth. In the name of the Terrans, they would declare war on Victoria. They called themselves Dublin. Just a bunch of greedy thugs trying to give themselves a title. Thugs? The ones common sense would identify as thugs, more or less. All died in County Hillock. Someone intended on using an entire city of Terrans to test the Terran-born Duke, but didn't anticipate the leader of Dublin, conversely, exploiting that. After the conclusion of the incident, Dublin successfully purged all unstable elements from the city, and further gained the surrounding Terran's populace's support, escaping intact directly under Victoria's nose. Dublin's leader is undeniably well versed in the behavior of nobility. It's no wonder, considering her background and her hidden supporters, that leader and intelligence personnel are both fully aware it was the barracks that shelled the masses with dirty bombs. That being why the truth of the County Hill incident will never be traced nor pursued. However, I've read the reports. All the reports. Some say the Dublin leader that appeared in County Hillock on that day is more than one person. That doesn't match up with the other intel we got from the Dukes. Have you seen these two jigsaw puzzles? They're exactly the same. As long as the forms are identical, they can fill the same holes. And the moment you put them together like this, most people who cast an eye would treat one piece like the other's shadow. Shadow? So that's why you suspect that previous arson case. The one tied to Dublin. It was only a suspicion at first. It was until the reaction from that Harmony feline fed me some interesting information. Who knew the Duke of Wellington would actually turn a blind eye to King Gale's other descendant, walking freely in the wilds? Madam, as you predicted, someone took the people from those farming households in for questioning this morning. I looked into it. They weren't wearing barracks uniform. It seems they're not a part of the patrol nearby patrol at all. Say, if I asked for a holiday and went out traveling, what would the better location be? Nathanian or Kazimierz? Or maybe I'll run off even farther. Maybe, just maybe, like my good friend from the school days, I'll take a trip to Jan. I don't understand what you mean. Forget it. We'll be caught in a snare if we don't tiptoe. But either way, we do need to remedy this as best we can. Ensuring her safety is priority number one. You mean, my dear friend, Lotiony? You're sure she's the one they're looking for? Well, can you be sure she's not? We've got no other choice. We'll let her be the leader too. We can't allow her to fall into anyone else's hands. Especially not the Duke of Casters. Come now, we need to play the Brigadier a visit. Selman, what do we do? You said you'd take us to shelter at a Dublin squad. And now they're right here in front of us, fighting with Vic's army. My gut says we should head and help the Terran's troop. My brain says we need to show some loyalty before we join them. I mean, right? Right? No, what are you people on about? We'd never beat those servicemen. And besides, what would Reed's lot think? They're hiding over there. They're not that near us. Maybe they won't see what we're doing. Oh, God. Down goes another. We can't just sit here watching Terrans get beat to death. Can we? Fionn, take a look behind. How are Reed's bunch reacting to this? All men pull back. Prioritize shaking pursuit. Our investigatory mission is complete. We can't waste our time here. Dublin's deployed far too many diversions. Captain, human activity at 3 o'clock. Who are they? Seemingly normal refugees with improvised weapons. Initiate contact. Confirm the true situation. All men, prepare to fight on two fronts. Beware the possibility of Dublin's regular forces disguised as civilians. Hey, what's he doing poking his head out from the bunker? Oh, the unit noticed him. They're coming over. I'll try and see about negotiating with them. I'll tell them it's all civilians here. No. Terra's local barracks would never trust civilians. They've never protected us before. Hi there. We're Terrans. We want to join Dublin. Hello? Oh, what? What the hell? Fall back. Retreat ASAP. These two units are attacking us simultaneously. But aren't Dublin meant to be defending Terrans? I can't give you a response. All I know is these soldiers are already dead. Standard power driver sphere. Sphere? Spear. Voiver. You're ex-Tempest platoon personnel, aren't you? Oh? Have we met before? Well, since we're not strangers, that makes things easier. We're not an ambush, and we've got nothing to do with Dublin either. You've gotten the wrong idea about us. Ha. Surprise, surprise. That Fisher boy only sent me out here to follow a trail. And here we've run into his true goal head first. No. I'd wager he sent me here specifically to wait until you ran into us. Bagpipe? Why are you protecting the Terrans? Eh? Because that's our duty, right? The Terrans are Victorians too. If we've cleared up the misunderstanding, are we able to cease fire? Attacking civilians is a violation of military discipline. What gives you the continued right to say that? Eh? What's wrong with me? You seem to not be duly aware of the situation here. Oh, excuse me. I am very well aware. My friend said you wouldn't protect Terran civilians, and I've just confirmed she was right. You're the same as that old Colonel Hamilton back in County Hillock, nah? So even though I'm discharged, I'm positive now. I still have to fulfill a Victorian serviceman's duty and do what you're not willing to do. Defend these civilians' lives. Then let me ask, have you ever inquired into that white-haired voiver's identity? Come on. Let's go, Selman. Everyone's looking to escape. No. Now's not the time to be stubborn. No, this is hard to take, but what Chen said seems to be true. So let's get away for now. Come on. Survive first, then we can talk after. What's that you're staring at? Wait. It can't be. Bro. There, Fionn. Your wound is like last time's. It's not too severe, but it'll still hurt. That's whatever. As long as I don't see blood, anything else flies with me. Coward. You should have said you'd help Selman. All you've done was Scarpa with her on your shoulders. Nothing wrong with that. At least we made it out. All of us made it out. Reed, I need to ask you something. I've been wanting to ask it all day. You and your friends seems to be professionals with this stuff, but I still don't get. Why do you say those Dublin people are dead? Is there any off chance they're sleepwalking? Maybe it's that witchcraft from the legends that makes people lose their consciousness. Just on the off chance that they are sleepwalking. We could go and wake them up. We can't. I wish I could provide you some consolation, but it's a unique originum arts I recognize. Alright. I'm just a little frightened myself. What's Selman gonna think, though? What's wrong with her? Oh, go on and tell, Fionn. We all know her. You were the one vouching for her since the beginning. She's a good girl. We wouldn't have come with her otherwise. The truth is, I actually know her because she robbed me. Once. We sat down and got talking with one another in the end, of course. She just wanted a pair of sturdy boots. Her brother was out in the snow that winter with half his soles worn through. His feet frostbitten something hideous. So you gave her yours? No, actually. Her brother went off to Dublin. I was only in time to cover for them. Couldn't do them any solid boots quickly enough. Fact is, she's been out here this whole time, looking for her brother. What? She brought us to join Dublin just for that? No, it's more than that. She wanted to join Dublin along with her brother, but she just ran away on the way there. That was 2 years ago. Think how tough it must have been on her, catching up to her brother today. Say, how do you think my family's doing? They're still back living in the village. It's about time they replace the roofing straw. Once we find a place to stop over, I'm getting a messenger to ask how they're doing. It's alright. I'm sure they're fine. But I hope you find that messenger. Come then. Grand. But where are we going? We chased the Dublin squad that was all dead people. And someone's not found their own. Where should we go now? Reed, what do you... Reed? Where'd she go? "13, 14, 15. 3 less than in the day. Just don't get it. What kind of Virgin March is this? Makes me sick looking at it." She squats behind the border, looking around. The soldiers keep marching for the heart's destination, upon the twilight wilds. The color of the Dublin uniform fades between layers of mud and soil. They seem as if held in a silhouette, one lit by a glimmer from somewhere unknown. I just need to pounce and retreat, and I'll be fine. 100 meters. They turn to walk straight for the border someone hides behind. He's at the back of the squad. Looks like he didn't get to be the leader. Makes himself so bloody big in all his letters. They're headed for... yeah, same direction as the letters said. 50 meters. Someone clenches the wooden cudgel in her fist. Is the city you're heading for that important to you? Who's telling you to head on? You'd still go even if you died? Even though you're being battered by wind and rain and all these people one after another? You'd still go? 30 meters. She remembers the first time she saw Dublin's troops. 2 years ago. They told her once she would decided she could come to them, the leader would give all Terrans a place to survive. I'm sorry. I never could be as sure as you were. You never looked back. But I did. She rushes out, like those Victorian soldiers in the daytime did. Like Chen did. These people that have ceased to be can be knocked down again. So long as every attack comes swiftly enough. Ferociously enough. Until they all sleep peacefully in the soil of Terra. Never called to stand again. The soldier does not fall. He merely stumbles for a moment from the bow to a blow to the neck, then swiftly spins around, pulling out a sword. He is ghastly silent. You lot! Out of my way! I'll send you all right back with him. No. I will. I'll do it. I was just here to find my brother. But you're all the same. Piss right off. At least say something. Ugh. Square that was. Bloody hell. Chest, head, chest. It's just not enough, is it? Her cudgel flies out from her hand, blocking the next attack. And in that moment, the soldier's mask falls off. She feels a sort of illusion for a moment, as if the way he brandishes his weapon slows for a fraction of an instant. As if her brother is about to give him both his hands, like when Victoria's police accosted them in the younger times, shielding her in his embrace. And then she sees his familiar face all so clearly. His forehead drips no blood, and his eyes turn no look to his little sister. Those eyes gaze to the distant, vague horizon, a rage of firelight longing, burning within. Just like the night he decided he'd seek out Dublin. And Dublin's soldiers surrounded them. Selman blankly, dazedly, reaches out a hand to the man before her. Admiration, aspiration, guilt, regret, all swallowed up by the ice-cold fire that her fingertips brush. Fear. All she is left with is fear. The fear of that longing, maniacal, burning unto death. And before time can move again, flames blaze high, incandescent sparks blossoming into the night sky. So she closes her fingers. Oh, my bad. So close her fingers could almost touch. A flame blooms forth and vanishes again before she can grasp it. The soldier falls over to the ground and never makes another whisper. Reading hard. Are you scared of my fire? But your fire's the same as mine, Luciany. It will burn forever, trying to smother its glow. To extinguish it is futile. You needn't fear it being seen. Why don't you let those who see it fear it? I know that in my body is a fire. If I feel for it, I can feel it burning me. After so long, the pain of it comes to me even before my thoughts do. Our parents warned us, take these flames we were born with and swallow them down. Hide them away, and never let them be seen by anyone. But I knew how my sister would secretly burn whatever she didn't want, and then she'd get something better for it. Can I do that too? Dad, can you take me to the bookshop? That morning, I thought I'd try acting like her, talking to my parents in a tone of voice. Every time she told them what she wanted, they'd agree with panic, like they were being burnt, yet with love. She and I had the same appearance and voice, wore the same clothes, so why couldn't I disguise myself as her? I want to read the sequel to the Steam Knight's adventures, since I don't want anyone asking me, how come a Victorian wouldn't like stories like about the Steam Knights? Tomorrow, Loshini. Your mom and dad are exhausted for today. Dad? Did you recognize me? Of course. How could I ever mix up my own two daughters? I only realized after that snowy night that he didn't say yes, because what I wanted was far too small. She wouldn't have gone begging to our parents just for a new book. I followed behind her, running as fast as I could. The bells to reunite sounded, yet we could no longer go home. Eblana, where are we going? Where do you want to go? I don't know. Nowhere's home, so go knock on any old door. You just need to be honest to whoever opens it and tell them that we have no home to go back to on this snowy, festive night. No matter how cold they are, surely they'll sympathize with two children. Go, Loshini. Don't be afraid. I'm watching over you. Under the glow of icy purple flames, I knocked haltingly on the first door. The flames had taken the lives of those we hated so only moments ago, but I wondered so badly if those flames would come to kill me instead, if I did anything wrong. But what did Sir do wrong? I heard there was a play being put on in the Terran's neighborhood, hence why on such a snowy night, Sir never came home for being so late. My sister made me sit down in the study. She simply stared at me and never answered my questions straight. I knew she was very disappointed in me. I should have been able to reach my own answers. He taught us to ruin the lives of the innocent, to stir a schism between the Terrans and Victorians. He even plotted his fallen opponent's murder, just like those Victorians killed our parents. So, taking his life was what we were meant to do. My sister could always do the right things, while I never could. She gifted her spear to me, yet every time I gripped it, that pipe burning with flames, I shivered, just as I did now. Am I right? No, Loshini. Death is merely there to guide him to his dreams. He showered us in conspiracy and political trickery, peeled us of our freedom and dignity. That was detestable. Yet detest is all that is. But even while he'd mastered his methods, his sights were set too narrow. That's what was truly regrettable. He wanted little more than the control of a brittle fantasy nation, with us serving as the puppets that would crown him. The power I looked to have in my hands is far grander than the daydreams of that madman. What about you, Loshini? What do you want? Yes, It's good that your blood and your upbringing have you carry yourself high, but if you want for nothing, then what sort of position am I meant to leave by my side for you? Go on. This is your wish on a snowy night. I'll let you aspire as grand as you want. I didn't answer. I only had the tiniest dream, like the warm fire of a hearth. I didn't dare answer. No matter, my sister. If you don't know where your own desires lie, then first become me. From here on, you and I are both the leader. Intently, that flame watched me, and I became her shadow. Have you been after me all this time? Since when? No. I simply heard from Fionn that you'd seen your brother in the squad of parted Dublin. I guess you'd come here yourself. It's not as if it's any of your business. I've been searching all this way for these dead controlled by arts. I want them to find peace. And I can accomplish that, just as you saw, just now. Gone are the marching footfalls of soldiers. The barons turn silent. Neither of them say a word. After a while, Stelman squats down, brushes the dirt off the mask, then carefully places over the soldier's face. Meddling little Fionn. Did he tell you about the first time I ever saw Dublin? We were in the city, me and my brother. If we were in good moods, we'd line up to see if any of the pubs needed last-minute waiters or what have you. If we were in bad moods, we'd hit Vicky windows with our catapults. Couldn't tell you if all the nobles were Vickies, to be honest. I just knew the one who drove us off the AG plate was. Then one day, there was an injured woman lying in an alley, shouted at me in Terran. Wanted me to deliver a letter for her. We guessed who she was. I delivered it. Found her a place to hide. I told her, of all the scummiest Victorians in the city, the number one would be the one with the tiny mustache who issued all the decrees. Bloody. Original product taxes. Alcohol taxes to target Terran drunks. Ordinances to round up unemployed Terrans and house them in one place. He was the one on telly delivering all of that. And then there was the army man stationed in the alleys. I couldn't do nothing but watch him beat all those people to death. If I'd stared at him a moment more, he would have taken me away. And if she and her Spectre Force wanted Marks to attack, then those two had to be on the list. But I was wrong. She responded. It wasn't Dublin's aim to retaliate against Victorians and Terran's steed. My brother told her which noble had the biggest house, which had the poshest dinner parties, which had a treasure hoard enough to arm an army, support a plate's farmers. That was even more wrong. She said, Dublin wasn't stealing from the Victorians to give to the Terrans. She said, if all we do is kill a few people and seat ourselves in their positions, it won't make things better for the Terrans. It'll just make us become them. Just like how Terrans who learned Victorian etiquette, copied Victorian accents, could pass as Victorian nobles. Then, did she tell you what it was Dublin wanted? Nope. But my brother had it all figured out afterwards, so we decided to join Dublin and went following them on the info they left behind. We left the nomadic city, heading for a settlement close by. It was along the way there, I suddenly remembered how Dublin disposed of their eyewitnesses. I was scared for my life. So scared I felt I had to run. It's not as if I hate every last Victorian, you know. And if I don't hate them, I'm not prepared to make them bleed. But there's no alternative to it. I don't like saying this, but Dublin is an army, and the one thing armies face is war. I know, of course I know. Rationally, I know they're in the right. What's wrong is I can't do it. How come I can't do what my brother could? Could he be so sure? While I had to run. How could he put up with dying and burning after death? While I can't even stand seeing him turn out this way. How can she stand up from the ashes? While I can only shrink into her shadow and weep. Luciany, what is it you want? I wrote for you what my life knew, in terms of love and dreaming too. But in your burning ecstasy, there was no place to hold them. What? You're not reciting poetry, are you? Are you serious? At me? Are you trying to show off your upbringing? Sorry, I don't know what I should say. There's so much I could say to encourage others or comfort others, but none of it is mine. You can stop reading. Someone buries her face in her hands. Her grief, like the Dublin soldiers who no longer speak, is shrouded in a deep green silhouette. I dreamt, they murmur. Years and years ago, we were working in a Victorian's manor. One day, my brother got me to drop everything I was doing and slip out with him for fun. We walked for ages until we reached the edge of the ag plate, and we looked out, down into the wilderness below. We couldn't see where the soil ended. It was all bursting full of wildflowers. My brother said, "That there, that's Terra." He said so much daft, arrogant shite, saying into the wind at the top of his voice. He said there was so much we wanted to say, but couldn't, because the Victorians robbed us of our language. The only thing we could do was hide our love and sorrow away in our time-old folk songs. And he said we'd done something incredible today. We didn't work for the Victorians today, so we rebelled against them. He must have been absolutely full of it back then. Full on dreaming of becoming like a hero in the legends. Same here. They're very pretty, the flames you've left him. They're just like the flowers we saw that day. But these flames aren't true flowers. They're just from the moment we're born to the moment we die. It all runs past in the blink of an eye. You aren't even able to hold them. That's fine. I don't care. I knew for the longest time he'd die. even if I was prepared to die when we went looking for Dublin. I don't care. I never trusted he'd die like he bragged. We dreamed with the hero's death. But at least, Reed, I want to hear the truth. Your truth. Was the future Dublin promised? Thing he was chasing even once he died. Was it made up? In the dark of the night, a flame ignites at the tip of a spear, casts in the firelight. Reed sees tears finally flowing down her face.